Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our live webinar of eIMMIGRATION. My name is Vanessa. On behalf of Serenade, I want to welcome you today. Today's topic is how to maximize your investment and use eIMMIGRATION to its full potential. So welcome. We are recording the webinar, so you can always watch the video later. If you go to our YouTube channel, it's called Serenade Academy. Also, the PowerPoint presentation is available if you want to download it. You can click on the handouts and obtain the PowerPoint presentation I'm going to be using today. We do take questions. You just message me. There is a chat where you can write your question and I'll just read it out loud. I cannot unmute you, but I can read your question and answer it. All right, so let's get started. Let's maximize our time. All right, so as I said, we're gonna learn today how to maximize your investment and use the system to its full potential. eIMMIGRATION is not just for forms. So I'm gonna go over the basic 3 steps if you're new, how to create a contact, how to link the contacts members, and how to create the cases. And by the way, you can use our system as a CRM. When I say contact, that could be a prospect. So use the system to track your potential leads and clients. So let's get started with those basics, basic 3 steps. Later, I'm going to show you how to capture data using either the alternate view or how to customize your intake forms, how to populate forms. So we have a lot to cover today. Um, I usually try to, cover everything in 1 hour. If we don't have, like I said, if we don't have time, you can always download my PowerPoint and click on the links. I want you to keep this PowerPoint so that you can review with your staff or later for you so that you can, as I said, maximize your investment and learn how to use the features that you are paying for. Okay. After the demo, the webinar, we're going to cover the resources and support options, and I'm going to go over the Q&A. Sorry about this. My monitor is not working, so I have to go with the flow. Here we go. All right, so let's log in into the caseworker portal. All right, so this is your main window. The caseworker portal is going to be your main area, even though you do have access to an administrator portal, which, by the way, I always recommend that you customize as much as you can. If you're not the administrator, contact whoever your admin is. Let them know that there are multiple settings here and features that are probably underutilized if you guys don't customize them, like letter templates, for example, or customizing processes. So if I had to give you an advice as far as like how to maximize your investment, I think I would start with customize it. Customize as much as you can so that the system becomes your system, okay? And any customizations are done via the administrator portal. All right, with that being said, let's move on to the basic 3 steps. Step number 1 on the left, you want to create a contact. As I said earlier, you could also use it as a CRM and track your prospects, notes or reminders or follow-ups so that they become an active client. When you create an account, let me open one. Well, this is the way I see it, the main area of the system. I call it the brain because this is where the knowledge or the data comes from. So as long as you complete a profile with as much information as possible, then you're fine. If you notice, it has everything organized on the right-hand side, so you can just go to the corresponding section you're looking for, previous addresses, or I want to see the biographic information. So uh, try to enter the information here in the system, not the forms, okay? Um, so that will be kind of like your step number 1, creating this contact profile. Step number 2 is going to be linking the members. Linking the members is very important because when you open a form and the form says children info goes here, well, guess what? If you have the children linked as members, the system understands, well, if it's daughter or son or, let me just transfer their data as well. Same thing with the spouse or the joint sponsor or parents. Even though they're not your clients technically, you still want to link the members and create a contact for them, but you're not going to give them a number because they're not a client. So just uncheck this option. You don't want to generate a client number automatically. but you still want to create a contact and choose what's the relationship and then click link. That way, again, you have everything and everyone organized. And that's the idea. If you want to grow your practice, you want to organize all the protocols, all the procedures so that everything flows and you automate as much as you can instead of doing things manually. Okay. Number three, once you create a contact, once you link the members, you want to create the actual matter or case. So that's when you go to cases, and on the left, you want to click on create case. Eventually, you're going to have the client's list of cases, and it's a lot easier to access a form. You can separate them by obviously different matters. I can then say I have an adjustment, then she comes back for naturalization. So I can create another matter for the same client, and I can see who's the party involved, the case parties. I may also use the system for non-immigration cases as well. Okay. All right. So let's create a case. This is the case wizard. You're going to choose your location or department. Remember, this is customizable. So if you want to use the system as a CRM or, just case management software for other areas of practice, you could also customize it. So maybe not just US immigration, or maybe not just in California. So you have, like I said, the ability to customize all these drop-down menus. In fact, I highly recommend it because I see sometimes attorneys wasting time searching for the matter here, where they can just customize this drop-down menu and then just click and go. So this process drop-down menu for the type of matters, it's something you would find here in your admin portal under case processes. So if I say, hey, you know what, I normally do, I don't know, um, like naturalization. So I'm just going to search naturalization. And once I find the case that I need, let's say this preservation case, I want to move this from position 266. I click on move to, and I can move it to position 3, for example. Click OK. So that's how you can rearrange your processes, and also, of course, customize the forms, the steps, the documents, checklists, everything related to that matter. So trust me, it's a lot easier. And then also, if you don't need, let's say that you got your site and you guys don't do H1Bs. So you can click select edit and you disable it for now. In the future, you might need to handle employment-based cases, so you enable it again. So again, just learn those customization features so that eventually it's a time saver because you can just click and go. Anyways, same thing with this, program types for nonprofit organizations. They usually use it for grants or programs. But how about customizing it for the stages, like it's been completed, interrupted, pending, in progress, or so I can customize it for different types of not just programs. So you can rename this, the categories to family-based, employment, pro bono, personal injury. So again, you can go to the admin and customize this. Trust me, the more you organize this, the better, because eventually when you run a report, you can say, give me all the family-based cases, or where do we have the file, the physical, folder, who's the attorney who's handling the case, etc. So you can customize all that and then find data a lot quicker. This is the case parties. When you create a case, you obviously select the role, petitioner, beneficiary, plaintiff, again, depending on the type of matter. And if it's an employment-based case, you must choose employer, okay? That's how you can select the branch and the signatory. But if it's a family-based case, select petitioner. And for the beneficiary, I recommend choosing alien instead, just because the forms are designed that way and they expect alien info, so it's faster to transfer the data. All right, these are the conditional rules that are optional. These are this is a forms checklist. So again, it's a lot easier for me to just click and go and have everything that I need in one place. Let me know if you guys have any questions at this point. I will launch a poll. Give me 1 second. Let me know if the basic 3 steps were clear to you. Okay, so thank you for those who have been responding to the poll in progress. So the majority of you say yes, thank you. I will cover them again after we're done during our Q&A. All right, so let's continue. Again, let me know if you guys have any questions, okay? As I said, we're going to cover the basic 3 steps, and I'm also going to show you the way to capture data. Now, the alternate view is located at the contact level. So when you go to the contact profile, this is a contact. You can tell right here it says clients. Here you'll see alternate view. The alternate view is where you can access the questionnaires. These questionnaires that you received that are standard can be customized. So if I want to modify a questionnaire, I can, and I'll show you really quick how to do that. Let me open one. This is one of the standard questionnaires or intake forms. And again, I'm using the alternate view because not every client will be tech savvy. Maybe I have the client in front of me or on the phone and I can just ask the questions and capture the data myself. So, what's your date of birth? And as I type the information, like I'm changing it from May to July, I need to click save. If you don't click save and you change the template, you lose the data. Make sure you guys click save. The only warning you get when you don't save and you're about to lose it is when you are closing it, and it will tell you, are you sure you want to close the form without saving? So that's the only warning. But if you switch to a different template, you don't get that warning and you lose the data. So be careful. Obviously, when you save, you get that green bar on top that says it's been saved. And look at the profile that now that I updated the date of birth. Okay, so you can use the alternate view for that. Anytime that I make a modification, if I go to documents under alternate view, I will see that date. So there's always a track. Like I can see, hey, what happened on what day is it? January 24th. So here's a version that we see that was submitted today via alternate view. Okay, just so you guys know, there's always a record. Now let me show you how to customize those intake forms and use them. If you guys want to use them as a contract or as an agreement, when you go into your admin portal, again, please let me know if you guys have any questions. Remember, we are recording today's session. You can always watch it and you can message me if you have questions. Okay. In the admin portal, if you go to custom form templates, click on intake forms on the right, and then you'll see system intake forms. You may create a custom intake form from scratch, but my recommendation, again, we're trying to maximize the investment, is save time by using what's already created. So these are the ones in the system. Might as well just copy it by clicking select copy and then use what's already here. For example, I want to change the name and I'm going to call it initial agreement. I'm going to change the name. I want to change that to small header. Let me preview it so it's smaller. I want to put my logo, so I go to options and then I add my logo. So now it shows right here. Anyways, I'm just trying to show you that it's really easy to customize a custom form, an intake form. I can remove by clicking on the delete. See right here on the right, I delete. I can modify by clicking on the pencil. Maybe I want to change this to what's your full name? and it's already mapped to the individual, so I don't have to do the mapping. Just so you know, it's connecting your question to the actual field where the data is going to be stored at or populated at. So we do have a video explaining in detail how to customize questionnaires. I just wanted to show you, if you're new, that this is doable. And we do have under the questions section an option to add a signature. So maybe I want to put something like sign here, and this becomes my contract. I can make this contract or initial agreement available in different languages. Let me disable and enable again. I want to pick maybe just Spanish and Persian, and I can preview how the questionnaire will look like. Well, in this example is an agreement, and I can modify the translation. Maybe the correct translation that I'm looking for is contrato inicial. So I can modify it, even though acuerdo, it's another correct word for agreement. But anyways, in this context, I want to use the word contrato. So just to give you an idea, maybe this, I want to change it to more formal Spanish. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that it's really easy to create a contract, provide that in a different language, and use it for your clients to sign electronically. Let me use this and put today's, I'll just use 2025 so I know this is the one that I need, and save and close. Okay, now I want to use that initial contract for Valeria. So the way I use it is by selecting on the left, create a questionnaire, and send it to her. I'm going to send it as a passwordless link in Spanish. I cannot send it in a different language because I only picked Spanish and Persian. So those are the two questionnaires. And I didn't link it to a specific process, so it's going to be right here. That's why I put 2025, because I knew that I had way too many already. I can preview it. I'm going to select on the left, and at the bottom, I scroll down to click Save. So how do I notify my client? If you guys have text messaging included in your package, you can send an SMS, you can send an email, you could also copy the link and send it via WhatsApp. However you want to share the link, as long as you send it. I'm just going to use the example of a text message. I don't want to show my name, so just the law office. And I have to up to 1,000 characters to include here. So let me just send. And I do want to set up a reminder maybe once a week. So in case they forget, we'll send them automatically a reminder via email and text message. Anyway, so let's close this. Let me know if you guys have any questions at this point. Okay, now I'm going to show you the form defaults and how to auto-populate forms. But before I move on, let me make sure that you guys don't have any questions at this point. Okay, please make sure you vote. That allows me to know if you guys have any concerns or if I should wait until you chat me your question. Go ahead and click on your screen. We have a poll in progress. Let me know if you guys have any questions at this point. Okay, so the majority of you said no, you may continue, which is what I'm going to do. But for those who said, yes, I have questions, I'll send them. Make sure you do send them. That's how we can help you if you let us know by clicking here where it says help, and then go here where it says technical support, and send us your question right here. That way we can contact you and assist you. Okay. All right, let's continue. I wanted to show you another feature that it's a lifesaver. Well, time saver for sure. It's called form defaults. So if you want to customize the values by default, just go to the admin, click on Form Defaults, and then here's where you can add those values by default. So search the form name. I usually recommend just typing the numbers. It's a lot easier. Click Find, select the form, and then customize it. For example, this form, I think it's on page 10 or 9, I don't know. um, like these questions, the background questions, have you ever, instead of me clicking no manually on every single form I have to file, I want this version of the N400 to automatically show the default values to no, 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 no. So it's a lot easier for me to switch a yes for a client than having to click manually. So just click save and close the form. Keep in mind, this doesn't work for forms that you had created or customized. So for example, um, if I created a case yesterday for an N400 and I go and customize the default values today, it won't show up. I have to add a new form. So let me show you. I'm going to add the N400 for this case, select the form, add and close. And when I open the N400, I don't have to worry about completing those fields or those values manually. Look, it's already showing by default. Like I said, it's a lot easier for me to switch a yes than having to click no, 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 no. Okay, you get the idea. So those are the form defaults. Let me show you now how do we auto-populate forms. So when you create a case, and you see here, it shows the case number, the process, the matter. Before you open a form, my recommendation is that you click on the name of the person where it says main party. You technically could also do this and go to your case parties and click on the person's name. So if I want to look at Francisco's account, I click on his name. So anyways, um, remember I said this is like the brain of the system. I have the values here, so the data is here in the system. Now, before I show you how to populate the forms, what if I send this questionnaire to Valeria and she sends it back, excuse me, with corrections? So let's see what happens. I'm gonna log in as a client, go to her mailbox. So client logs in or she clicks on that passwordless link and she sees that contract that we just sent today. So initial agreement, I sent it in Spanish. So that's, as you can see, the translation worked. So anyway, so I just wanted to show you, they could also switch back to English anyways. What I wanted to show you is that, okay, client reviews the contract and it turns out that the date of birth was incorrect. It was March. So she changes that and maybe the phone number is also incorrect. Anyway, so she goes through the contract or the intake form and sends it back. They could also print it. Once they submit, we will email you. We'll let you know, hey, attorney, you've got a questionnaire. When you log in as the caseworker, you also see this indicator on the top right. See this number 23? If I click on that icon, I see my inbox and I see the contract or the agreement or the form or any intake form that I sent, and I can see who's the client on the left and the dates or who sent it. So what I need to do is select and open because I want to review, and the system highlights in red the changes. I can click to see what was the original value, and I would decide if I accept the changes or send it back to them. If I click to accept, this information that I am overwriting updates her profile. So if we take a look at her database, you'll see that the correct date of birth and the phone number are listed here now, which means that now that I have the case open and I'm ready to complete her forms, once I open the form, the correct date of birth shows up here because it's coming from the profile. Look, March. Let me know if you guys have any questions about that. So remember I said this is the brain or the main area of the system. This is exactly why. If you have the correct info here, it will transfer here. But what if I want to change something else? Like I want to overwrite this and delete her actual mailing address and put our PO box number. I don't want to overwrite that. So it won't happen. Anytime that you type on the form, see how it's blue? I'm typing directly on the form. It stays only on the form. Okay? I can make a mistake and maybe undo it by restoring here on the top left. To restore the value, click here. Okay? Um, if I want to add a post-it or a sticky note, please confirm date of birth. I want to leave it right here. So I can use my sticky notes to convey a message, add like a, observation. And these do not print if you don't want to. You can print the form without the sticky notes, okay? I love to have them just in case something happens. I can, you know, have proof that I did ask you to confirm your date of birth. What else? You could use this keyboard to type anywhere. You drag and drop the text anywhere you want to squeeze it. Maybe I want to put text right here. Especially attorneys use it to avoid creating addendums. um, let me show you something else. Uh, well, let me change it back to the PO box. Ah, okay. Anyway, so I want to show you what if I need to change something on the form, but I want to also change it on every form. Well, if I switch to the other tab where I have her profile open, I have access to the database, the profile, and I'll just change it here. So maybe not March, but help me, August. Let's say that it was August 8th, 1988. Okay. So I change it here, save it, and the way I refresh the form so that it shows up here is not by refreshing the browser, okay? I use this red button. Every form should have this red select party button. So click select, replace, and click on the name of the person that you're working with. In this case, Valeria, the petitioner. And now the form is updated with the correct date of birth, but it didn't delete my overwritten field, okay? All right, the other thing I wanted to show you is that if you exceed the limit of characters, let's say it doesn't fit the street number and name. Well, the system is developed to shrink it, or you can use this icon to change the font size, manually do it. But if you still exceed the limit, well, we create the addendum for you. These additional pages, if you notice that they have a red button, so you guys can manually choose what you want to include. So maybe not these addresses, and the system, based on your selection, populates even the numbers are, the corresponding numbers. So this is going to save you a lot of time. Another feature that I like that is probably coming back with this new administration, I'm not sure, is the I call it the infamous NA. When you click on this icon that looks like a magic wand, you can replace blank spaces with NA. And then hit replace. Just do it once you're done, obviously, and it will replace any blank space you left with NA. Okay? If you need to change everything to all caps, you can change the text case to all caps. Also, again, do it at the end when you're done with the form, because it will overwrite, and that's why it shows blue, because you're technically overwriting and changing it to all caps. All right, let me know if you guys have any questions at this point. Let me see if you guys are too quiet today. How do you prefer to capture your client's data? Please let me know. Okay, thank you for those who are participating. Let me close this. Let's see. The majority of you said by sending questionnaires to clients. The rest not sure yet. That's good. That's valid. So I highly recommend also, let me give you a quick tip. For those who are solo practitioners and you want to grow your practice, I also put that on my PowerPoint. Um, Grow your practice, not your to-do list. I put it right here because we do have features like they can help you automate things, and one of them is this one, anonymous questionnaire. So what I would suggest you do is put a link on your website or social media pages, any custom intake form that you want to create, even if it's too basic, just so that you pre-screen potential clients, right? Something like a welcome basic intake form. Your potential clients will click on that link and see this landing page where they can change the language. They would enter their first and last name, cell phone, or email. And that way you don't have to create an account for this prospect. They can proceed to receive a code for verifying, it's a legit lead, and they can complete that intake form. That intake form, like I said, could be something very simple so that you pre-screen them and see if it's someone who you want to represent. Are they looking for a service that you offer or not? Maybe you want to ask, how did you hear about us, and use it as a CRM and track your, data for marketing purposes, things like that. But again, I would highly recommend, if you haven't looked into it, explore the option of utilizing your anonymous questionnaires. And then you receive it right here. You also get an email. But again, the benefit is that you guys don't have to click create, contact, and it will be listed as a prospect. So then you can contact them for the consultation and, do your thing. Switch them to an active client, and hopefully they, again, become a client, right? All right, so let's move on to reminders. We want to talk about this. How do we work more efficiently? Well, the system has reminders that you guys can utilize, and these I highly recommend that you customize them. Remember, I said that in the administrator portal you can customize pretty much 90% of the system. Well, this is another area that you can customize. I want to create a reminder, but I don't want to call it just deadline or task. Be more specific. Well, like this is RFE related, or call client for follow up. In Spanish, recordatorio de cita para hacer impuestos. Like you can use the system for other areas, not just immigration. Anyway, so you can customize the type of reminder. Select what's the due date. Maybe on the 7th of February, I have to do something about the RFE, but I want to send an email and a text message to the client maybe a week before. So on the 30th at 6 a.m., I want to select who's responsible to do this RFE and who else. The recipients are going to be the client. So I'm going to select her phone, and I'm also going to CC her in the email. So I can search for other clients or search for other caseworkers and select. I love the fact that Serenade added the option to choose from a template. That way I don't have to type my message every single time. I'm trying to find if I have, yes, perfect. Reminder for RFE. So, I mean, just to give you an idea, that way I don't have to type my reminder message every single time. Now, these reminders, as well as the expiration dates, which you'll find under the documents like passports, I-94s, anything that you can think of, because you can customize this anyways, like RFEs, EADs, 797s, anything that you want to track, like an expiration date, filing date, right? You can see that in your general dashboard. It's called Tickler. I love this feature. I think if I was a solo practitioner, this would be my go-to place. The way I see it is like a helicopter view, because I want to see my own data, or I click to show the data for all caseworkers, and I get to customize a layout. So what is this tickler? It's again a daily report or general dashboard where I see the reminders, expiration dates, even my accounts receivable aging, where I see, hey, we've got invoices that are past due 30, 60, 90 days. And this is a good invoice. Um, so anyways, so you guys can organize your practice by utilizing the tickler and have your team be on the same page, because if one of your paralegals is out, then you can go to your process steps and see, okay, let's see, in the next 6 to 20 days, it looks like we've got this task or step due on the 10th of February. Or how many reminders do we have in the next 10, well, technically the next 15 days or the past 10 days. So I see here my list of um, past due reminders, I guess. So I see the due date, the actual task, and who's responsible. Okay. So this is your tickler. And if you want to see the tickler the first time, that, like when you log in, the first thing that you see, the landing page will be the tickler. Just go to your user preferences and you'll see right here where it says default star page. Select tickler so that you can, see, okay, today what's the more, important or pressing task that we have to tackle. Let's see. I think I want to also show you the process steps. I mentioned them as tasks. These steps are like your milestones. And again, you may customize them. Every time that you guys create a matter or a case, if you go to your process steps, again, I don't know how someone can do it without an agenda or like a calendar or but this is a great feature to utilize because again you want your staff to be on the same page, or even if you're a solo practitioner you don't want to forget things. So this is a great tool. It tells you exactly what you need to do, and again, as a team, I don't have to explain myself over and over again. Literally, this is my staff's to-do list or cheat sheet and they see what I'm expecting them to do. All I need to do is just give them the start date and the time frame. As long as they know what they're doing and when they're doing it, they may also get a reminder via email in case they forget. So let's say that Kevin is helping me with all these tasks and he completes them. So he will check completed, completed. But how about this one? It's time for us to send a reminder to receive the contract, the signed contract, and it's due tomorrow. Well, if Kevin forgets to do it on the 25th, then this is going to send him a reminder. Okay. If this was due, let's say last Monday, the system shows that in red. Okay. And then I can also run a report. Hey, give me a list of all the overdue or past due tasks or steps, right? I may also automate things by creating tasks, like trying to see if this one works. Send a reminder to receive the contract, the signed contract. So what I can do is go to select activities and add an activity. These are the activities that you guys can choose from. Obviously, you need to be subscribed to billing or text messaging or, so let's say I want to send a text message the day that this step starts, and the reminder will be text message reminder for contract or agreement. Um, who's the recipient? Well, again, I need to use the tags because at this time I don't know if I'm gonna send it. I could um, customize in general. So regardless of who's the client or the petitioner beneficiary, I can customize via processes, or what I'm doing now on a case by case basis, I can select, okay, these are my recipients, the petitioner and the beneficiary. Okay. But if you are pre-selecting or customizing by default your activities, you would have to use the tags so that the system populates the petitioner's phone number, and then what department, but this is a department, and this is going to be the message. Reminder for pending agreement. That way, my paralegal doesn't have to send this reminder manually, and the system will do it automatically. How does it work? Again, I schedule that so that when I start the step, the system sends a text message. Let's test it. If I say, okay, we're going to start today for, oh, that was a call up. This one. Okay, here it is. Send reminder. Let's start today and save. See, technically the system recognizes, okay, we've got a start date and there is an activity. So I would have to send the text message. Let me see, we have a question. Regarding intakes for potential clients, how can our team take the info directly from a client using a questionnaire? The anonymous questionnaire, remember I told you that a potential client can complete that intake form, and so your team can utilize the questionnaire, the custom intake form, if you want to use the anonymous questionnaire. Whenever you guys receive that and you accept it, it populates the potential client's profile. So you can use that when you're doing the consultation. You can fill in, if there's anything missing, you can send them additional questionnaires. And then second question was, how can we transition the client intake info to an active client to populate forms if they hire? Let me go back so I can show you guys. Let me close this. Okay. All the profiles are the same. The only thing that changes is the status. If you notice, in theory, again, you would show prospect whenever they complete that intake form, the data that you accept, because you need to accept it. And that's the thing. If you send a questionnaire, let's say Francisco, I send a questionnaire and he sends it back with his data as a prospect, right? I need to go into my inbox, accept the questionnaire so the data populates all these fields. Once they go through consultation and we, okay, agree, we sign the contract, that's when you guys would switch the status to active and create an account, or not account, sorry, a case, so that when you say, okay, Francisco is now an official client, let's create a matter to choose the case. We're going to help him with his green card. When you create the process and you go to the forms, then the data that you have captured from the intake form that's already here, that's when it transfers to the forms, when you have a case established. I hope that that makes sense, but let me know. Let me know if you guys have any questions, okay? Um, there was another question. Let me read it. I close the window. Oh, can you show us again? Can you tell me what exactly? I'm not sure if it's the same. I'm not sure if you're talking about the same thing. But yeah, so let me know. So let's continue. I already covered that. Tickler. Okay, so there is a way for you to customize your client's overview. Every time that you open an account, a profile, if you notice on the right, it says client overview. I highly recommend that you customize this page so that you see exactly what you want to see, which, by the way, you can print it if needed. So the way you customize your client overview is by clicking here under the settings and then user preferences, and you'll see client overview. So this is where you can add or remove stuff. Maybe I don't want to see logs, so let me just remove this page or this block. I want to see, maybe, there's no need to see reminders again. I want to see payment information. I don't know, I-94s. You can choose from all these options. See, invoices, show me the invoice and the case and the amount, and apply. So save. Let me show you the difference. Once I save my client overview, this is how it works. I'm gonna click on client overview. Let me close this. And look, now I see, instead of reminders, I see invoices with the due date and the amount. So this is the benefit of customizing your client overview, because instead of seeing every single thing here under the general info, I just picked what I need to see. Her phone, her name, email, social, that's it. I mean, just very few details. Um, you also have a case overview, but this one cannot be customized. It shows you basic information, case, parties, case workers, forms, the time that I spent on forms, every single thing, logs, documents, letters, steps, everything. Okay, so that's how you customize the client overview. Now, you also have letter templates included. As I said earlier, make sure you customize them in the admin portal. When you create a matter and you go to your document section under letters, you will see that if you have customized them to the process, then you'll see them right here, or you can add them from here. So let's say I created this template and I put these links, so I don't have to customize them manually. The system auto-populates the name or the date of birth. So these are called tags. I can create a letter template so I can use it as a PDF, a Word document, or simply email it from here. I can email a document from here. See how I populated today's date, her name, date of birth. And this is going to save you guys a lot of time. You can use it for cover letters, motions, I guess, as I said, emails. These letter templates, you create them from the admin under letter templates. Okay, don't forget to download my PowerPoint presentation so that you can click on the links and then watch the video and see more. Now, let's assume we've got the forms ready. We have received the documentation, the evidence from the client, because I can select and share the checklist, have them upload from home. And now I want to create a package. So when I click on document assembly, I can put together the package. Sorry, there's an error message. I don't know why. I can put together a package with the forms. So when I, again, go to document assembly, select the name of the package, choose whatever forms you want to include, the documents. Maybe I have documents that I want to include, the evidence, the cover letters. I can preview them too. So the way this works, so you just drag and drop. Okay, I want the passport here. I want this cover letter here. So I will just, rearrange the content and create the table of contents. So the system helps me with the page numbers. I don't have to do this manually. And when I download or I email the package, I could also include the footer caption and the numbering at the footer page numbering. So this allows you to create a whole package with the forms, evidence, cover letters, and help you with the table of contents. I'm telling you, the system has a lot more features that you're probably using. So this is the reason why we do these webinars, so that you guys can maximize the investment and take advantage of these. Okay, we're almost done. I'm going to cover custom fields. I already mentioned the anonymous questionnaire and how to schedule custom reports. So what are custom fields? Remember I said this is like the brain of the system, right? Okay, you've got fields that are considered system fields, name, last name, phone. But what if I want to track additional things like what's your social media? Is this the first time that you're here? What's your full name in native alphabet? Are you a new client? Blah, blah, blah. So these are just examples of custom fields. How do I create my own? How do I use the system to track additional data like how did you hear about us, and track this information to see, hey, it's worth investing in advertising in Instagram because most of our clients are here through, or maybe not because they're a referral. Anyway, so how do we create custom fields? If you go into the admin, you'll see the option right here, client custom fields. Just add your field, select if it's for an individual or a business client. The name of the field is more technical, so it cannot has can contain spaces. You can use underscore or just altogether last arrival date. The title, of course, it's how would you type the question? When did you arrive in the U.S. or um, so the type of field. I'm asking a question. Is it text, a number? Is it a larger text area for an explanation or something, that I need more characters? Is it a drop-down menu, a Boolean field, like these boxes that you click on? So anyway, so you would pick the type of field and click Save. Eventually, you have your list of custom fields that you want to utilize. Like this one, as I said, what's your full name in native alphabet? Okay. So you could, if you want, you can put them under the custom field section, just like I have them here, or leave them under the generic, general like custom field area. I highly recommend that not only you create your custom fields, but you organize them in different views or categories. Like my category could be this one, best way to contact you, or technology, it's a category. And this is the actual custom field. So again, learn more about how to create custom fields, how to group them into categories or views, how to even map them to forms or use them in a questionnaire. We do have a lesson or a class. You can watch the video in our YouTube channel that talks about those customizations. And lastly, I want to talk about custom reports. You must be subscribed to that module. It's actually my favorite. The way I see it is like having an assistant, having reports that I get to customize and schedule. If I schedule a report, I literally tell the system on a daily basis, weekly, monthly, yearly basis, send me an Excel or a PDF for, I don't know, report about 797s, report about all new prospects, report anything you can think of. That's why it's called custom report. Cases that we opened this week. How about a report on invoices that are overdue? Send that report starting on Monday, maybe until the year 35. Send that to my accounting department as Excel on a daily basis. They don't have to log in into the system. They'll get this Excel daily automatically so they see what invoices are past due. Anyways, just to give you an idea, you can send the report as a nonprofit organization. Let's say send the reports for grant info to your board of directors, or again, the options are endless. You can create any type of report and schedule them. This is why it's my favorite feature because I feel like you can save a lot of time. All right, so I do have questions and I'll have more questions. The more I use it, obviously, the more I learn. So what are my resources and support? You can contact us Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 Pacific Standard Time. That's our phone number, except on holidays. But you could also email us 24/7. That's our email address. And send us a technical support message on your home screen on the top right where it says help. You may also send your feedback to our developers. Hey, I would like the system to do this or do that. We also have a user's guide. I put the link right here. So click on the link to search for a specific keyword, e-filing. How do I e-file? We do these webinars for free live on Fridays, except on holidays. We have a podcast. We also have a forum page on Facebook that you can join and interact with other users. And lastly, we have a YouTube channel called Serenade Academy that we ask that you subscribe to. So I really hope that you guys learned something new today, that you maximize your investment. Please let me know if your questions were addressed today. If not, stay here for a Q&A and send me a message so I can answer your questions. If not, I want to thank you on behalf of Serenade for attending today's webinar. Please connect with us. We have Twitter, Facebook, you name it. Just click to connect with us. And we really appreciate your time. Have a great weekend, everyone.